Republicans are considering hosting their 2024 convention in Milwaukee or Nashville. But now there are growing tensions in the Music City over the possibility of bringing the event there. Nashville Mayor John Cooper, a Democrat, says he's concerned about resources, including security. Republican Governor Bill Lee is on board. Nashville has been called a bright blue dot in a deeply red state, if you haven't heard. The city's Metro Council expected to take up the issue in the coming days. Let's bring in Nashville Metro Councilwoman Sandra Sepulveda. Thank you so much for being with us. You've said that this convention would not align with the values of Nashville. Tell us why.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Nashville, for a very long time, has pushed back on certain rhetorics, like English only. We believe that immigrants are welcome, that Black Lives Matter, that women have rights. And at this time, and with this convention, we just do not feel, well, I could only speak for myself, I do not feel that it aligns with the city's values.
But do you think that the entire party should be essentially blocked from having an event in Nashville because there's a diversity of thought?
I think tensions are very high right now. Just a couple of days ago, we saw protest in a neighboring city surrounding Juneteenth. I know I've been recently attacked online with some very racist rhetoric. Tensions are very high right now, and I think that this is not the time to be hosting an event like that in this city, especially.
Well, it's interesting, an event like that. I mean, this is a convention for a political party. James Garrett, the Republican chair of Davidson County, saying, quote, the council members will come up with all of these excuses, but the bottom line is they're still Democrats. They'll do anything they can to keep a Republican convention from coming here. So why has politics, I mean, clearly we all know that this is a divisive time, but why has politics become so personal that people who disagree with each other can't just respect each other's ability to form their own opinions and conclusions?
Yeah, and I mean, I would push back against that. I know several colleagues who have said that they wouldn't want the DNC convention here as well. We run several risks. Our state passed laws not too long ago making it illegal to protest on state property. So we're talking about the possibility of protesters being arrested on both sides. We're talking about the potential for a lot of white supremacists to be out in full force, and a lot of people pushing back on that. We're talking about how much this would cost the city to make sure that security was taken care of. There's several factors. So I wouldn't say it's just the Republican convention. I know several council members who wouldn't want the DNC to have a convention as well.
Well, what would your thoughts be about the DNC convention? I mean, the DNC coming to Nashville, because there are people who would be listening to what you're saying with all due respect and say that there's the same thing, the same concerns about people protesting on the other side and maybe causing problems or even vandalism.
I'm a former staffer for the Tennessee Democratic Party. I was there for 6 years. And I could say I wouldn't want to see the convention, the Democratic convention here at this moment as well. I think we have a lot of problems in the city, and I think that we need to take care of our community first. We have an affordable housing crisis right now. We have a homelessness situation that we haven't addressed properly. We have worker safety issues. It's just not the time for the city to be hosting events that big. And it's not like money and events aren't coming into the city. We hosted the NFL draft not too long ago. We have concerts all the time. Nashville is a power engine for the state, and we're going to continue to be so.
Right. There's a lot of money at stake, even though I believe that we just sent Nick Smith to CMA Fest there, a huge event, finally being held after a couple of years of being held off due to COVID. But in terms of the hundreds of millions of dollars that could come in from this convention, that's quite a statement to make. And Councilwoman Sepulveda, we really appreciate you being so honest and upfront about your stance here. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Well,
Wow.
one of the things she mentioned there is that we don't need this to come in because it's like she mentioned, they had the NFL draft, CMA Fest. Nashville doesn't need help to get events. People are coming to Nashville. And also
the GOP wants to be in Nashville. Like,
Sure.
they're hungering just like anybody else would be to have an event there.
But one of the things about these
city.
political conventions, rather, is that they're largely funded by taxpayer dollars, whereas some of those other events, that's just, money coming in
It's
by
business.
somebody else planning and paying for it.
Big business. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.